So today I went to the eye doctor, and I don't know if you've ever been to the eye doctor, but you first come in, you have to sign in at the desk, and they tell you, oh, take a seat over there. And I sit there, and I start like looking around all these fascinating glasses. It's just they have rimless, or they have half rims, or they have full rims, or they have black or blue or pink, or the glasses that turn color in different lights. You can get all kinds of stuff. It's really fascinating. To spend 45 minutes looking at glasses, really, it's mind stimulating. So then, after waiting for quite a long time, you'll hear the people going like, "Oh, I wonder what's taking so long." Well, she did come in late today. She was running about 50 minutes late, and you're like, ah, that's why. So am I. The eye doctor comes out of the room along with this patient who's walking around like this, red and bloodshot, and you're like, something must be really wrong with that person. But the doctor says, hello, how are you today? Do come in. We're going to do a couple of different tests. Put your chin right here. So you go up and you put your chin on and the count of three, you're going to feel a little bit of air on your eye. So, and she's like, well, keep both of your eyes open, okay? Because it's just a little bit of air, and it won't bother you. You're sitting there, and you're like, okay, I got my eyes open. And then all of a sudden, you hear 1, 2, 3, poof. Dry, that really hurt. Ooh, have you ever gotten air, like, forced into your eye? It's not fun. Like, okay, next eye. After she does the other eye, and she does it again and again because your reflexes are too quick. So the next test is you gotta put your chin on another little thing. And you're like, oh boy, this could be bad. And they're like, okay, look down the road. And you look in, and there's like this animated road with a farmhouse at the end. Looking at the farmhouse. Then they start the motion sickness ride. In and out and blurry and clear, and it does on this side, blurry and clear and in and out, and she's like, oh good, you did so well on that one. You're like, thank you. Why don't you come into the other room now? So you go into this room and it's a dark room. It's very dark, and she's like, okay, sit over there. And then she's like, okay, are we ready? And you're like, something else? She comes over and she takes these large swimming goggles with 2 little holes. And so she slides it up to you. Whoop. And you're like, okay, this isn't what my glasses are going to look like. And she's like, okay, look through here. Okay, can you see the chart through here? And you're like, I see an E at the top. And she's like, oh. Okay, well, let's start with this. Click. Is number 1 better or number 2? Click. And you're like, click, click. Show me again, 1, 2. About the same. Pick one. 1, 2. 2. Are you sure? I'm like, totally sure. You can just stop that. Whoa, you know. So then she does it about roughly 40 times. Maybe I'm counting wrong. I think it was like 50, 60 times. And then she goes on to the other eye. Okay, what's ready? 1, 2. And then, just as you think you're finished, she takes this other thing, whoop, and slides it in front of you, and you're like. And she's like, okay, here are the different lines. Which is better? And you're like, oh no, don't even say it. 1 or 2. And then finally, you are done. And you sit back and you're like, okay. And then she's like, would you like to come over here and see a picture of your eyeball? No, I'll just take a dash of road sickness along with being really weirded out by this really dark room. And then I'll look at my eyeball, like on a paper that's bigger than my torso. No, I think I'll pass. Oh no, it's really quite interesting. You see, here, that is your pupil. And then if you can see, there's a little bit of a funny shape, and that's called astigmatism. That's why you can't see well. It's kind of like an egg that's shaped wrong. And so then finally she finishes telling you all that, and then you're like, okay. She's like, all right. Well, your eyes will never improve because of the stigmatism. That's what glasses are for. I mean, I'm not coming here to ask you if my eyes are going to be worse when I'm 45 or 50 or 65, depending on how old you are. So then, right? She's like, okay, your right eye is 20/40, which means you can drive legally without glasses. But your left eye is 20/60, so you have to wear glasses when you're driving. You're like, lady, I'm here because when I went to the DMV and I looked in the little thingy and I said, oh, let's see, that's LDENO. They said, sorry, miss, those aren't letters, they're numbers. Go to the eye doctor. And that's why I'm at the place. She writes out my prescription. She's like, well, we're going to correct the stigmatism halfway because we don't want to make you too dizzy. Thanks. I feel so loved. So then she's like, all right, thank you so much for coming in. And you're like, oh, no problem. It was my pleasure. You have to pay for your appointment. And so you say, okay, how much was that? And you know, for what they call a quickie eye exam, love the name, right? It takes like half an hour. It's $50 to $75. The other one costs upwards of like $300. I think it has something to do with that air that they force into your eye. You know, you have to pay extra for that extra burst of air.